In this video, I'm going to show you how to finish and join on one side to join two mints together. So I have closed the mint except for the very last stitch. And on my last stitch, I like to do a slip stitch. So insert it into the red and into the back loop of the white to join it, and I do it with a slip stitch. Then I toss the red to the back. Now this is the way I like to do my trim, and you'll see it in the other video how to do a trim. I'll go ahead and cut that. I like to do a trim. So I'll do a slip stitch and then chain 3, slip stitch, chain 3, I'll do a little slip stitch, chain 3. So you have in your very first white, there's the slip stitch into there, but there's 2 sets of chain 3. And you can see how in each stitch it's divided the ends. I'm working around the circumference now, that there's 3 spaces in your cluster. There's before this stitch, so there's one there, 2, 3. And so all the way around, that's what I'll do, is use those 3 spaces to do my trim. And I'm going to join one side. When I call a side is a red, you'll see as this develops that there's actually going to be 6 sides to this. Here's a side, a red and a white, a second side, a third, a fourth, a fifth, and a sixth. And this will make out into a hexagon as we work on it. So I'm going to join sides together. I want to join end to end like this. So that means I have to work all the way around to the last 2. Actually, I'll be doing it like this. And I'll work this last side to this side over here, and I'll show you that. So we'll 1, 2, 3 into the second spot. 1, 2, 3. So I've done one side. I'm going to go a little bit faster now. And this is what I call the trim of the mint. Which is different than the border, although the border is done pretty similar except for the white. But I'll show you how to do that when we get to the border. Okay, now you see I've done 1, 2, 3 sides. I've done a trim on 3 different sides. So if I was going to do a 3-sided join, this is where I would stop. But in this video, I'm going to do a 1-sided join. So I need to do this side and this side. So all that's left undone is one side. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Get this red out of the way. So now I've done 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to do a 5th side. So there's 1, 2, 3. Slip stitch. 1, 2, 3. Slip stitch. 1, 2, 3. Slip stitch. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going into 3. Here's going to the first one. 1, 2, 3. Go into the second space. Slip stitch. 1, 2, 3. Go into the third space, and I'm going to slip stitch. Okay, so now I'm going to put these together, join them. So you want to do right side facing you, but you want to do the wrong sides together. So I like to make sure that my seams are going the same direction. So with that, I know I want to connect the white to the red. See, I've got wrong sides together. The red to the white and the red to the white. Okay, so I'm going to put the slip stitch back on my hook, chain 1, and on the back side, see there's 1, 2, 3, the white chain before this first one. I'm going to insert my hook into the chain 3 space, pull it through, slip stitch, chain 1. Now I'm going to go back to my mint number 1, and in that first chain where I would normally do it, do a slip stitch, chain 3. I'm going to slip stitch, chain 1, go to the first chain 3 space in the red, insert my hook, slip stitch, chain 1, go back to mint number 1, insert into the second space, slip stitch, chain 1, mint number 2, the chain 3 space, slip stitch, chain 1, go back to mint number 1 in the third space, slip stitch, chain 1, mint number 2 in the third one, slip stitch, chain 1. Now I'm going to do the red to the white. So now I'm going to go to the red, the first space in the red, and do slip stitch, chain 1, and go to the first chain 3 space in the white, slip stitch, chain 1, again the second space in the red, slip stitch, chain 1, the second chain 3 space in the white, slip stitch, chain 1, the third space in the red, slip stitch, chain 1, the chain 3 space in the white, which is this last right here, slip stitch, chain 1. Now I'm back to my original, so that's why I do a slip stitch there, so that when I join back here, I do a slip stitch and then I finish off. I finish off, and that way it has a chain 3 space that goes into there, and there's how you join one side. I will show you real quick how I like to make my mints look just a little bit more consistent. So it's easy that you weave in that tail, but if you go to the underside and see this white thread, see how there's red and white all the way around, but this one red stripe never has white on it. So when I'm finishing up, I like to take my needle and I go ahead and make those stripes. Oops, let me do this. I'm doing it in a kind of an awkward way so you can see it. So that from the front side, it's not as pretty as I usually do it, but from the front side, I'm going to take this out and do it again, obviously, because I don't like it, but I usually do it from the front, so I whip stitch white in there to make it a circle like that, so that it's similar to the rest of the yarn, like I did here. Okay, thank you.